Welcome back, C1 learners, to today's explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here because, well, we're stepping into a rigorous, highly interactive masterclass on advanced conditional sentences. If you've been looking to polish up your English syntax and finally, once and for all, eliminate those lingering doubts about when to use which tense, you are exactly where you need to be. We're going to take some pretty complex grammar and turn it into a gamified gauntlet. By the end of this, you'll be navigating these structures with total confidence. Let's get to it.
Listen to this sentence for a second. If I were you, I would reconsider that decision. I mean, it sounds perfectly natural, right? But really think about it. Why on earth do we say were instead of was when I is completely singular? It kind of challenges our basic grammar instincts right out of the gate. So, okay, let's dive into this and unlock exactly why that happens.
Here is our roadmap for today's masterclass gauntlet. We'll quickly decode the conditional rules. Then we're jumping straight into 3 interactive rounds. Fill in the blanks, multiple choice, and spot the error. After that, a rapid-fire round to test your reflexes, finishing up with the ultimate conditional challenge. All right, Section 1, Decoding the Conditional Rules. Let's lay the groundwork.
First up, we've got the zero conditional. This structure is all about absolute, unbreakable certainties. We use it for general truths, scientific facts, situations where one thing literally always results in another. Notice the formula here. It's if plus the present simple, followed by another present simple in the main clause. It's just cause and effect, plain and simple.
Now, moving right along to the first conditional, let's see how this builds. We're shifting gears from absolute truths to highly probable future outcomes. The formula starts the exact same way, if plus present simple. But check out the main clause. It changes to will plus the base verb. We use this when we're talking about a very real, very possible situation in the future.
And now, things get a little spicy with the second conditional. This is used for unreal, hypothetical, or highly improbable situations. The formula is if plus past simple followed by would plus the base verb. Now, I want to introduce a really fascinating linguistic concept here called distance. You see, the past simple tense in this formula doesn't actually represent past time. Actually, scratch that. It has nothing to do with time at all. Instead, it represents distance from reality. You're stepping away from what's true right now into a totally hypothetical space. Keep that concept of distance in your back pocket. It's a real game changer.
Okay, Section 2, Round 1. Fill in the blanks. Get ready.
This is our first interactive gauntlet round. For each question, I want you to mentally lock in your answer before I reveal it. Here's your first prompt. If water blank reaches 100 degrees Celsius, it blank boil. Consider the context here. I'm going to give you a few seconds to test your C1 reflexes. What do you think? Locking in your verbs?
Bam, the answers are reaches and boils. Because this is a universal scientific fact, it perfectly follows the zero conditional formula. Present simple, present simple. If water reaches 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. Excellent work if you nailed that right off the bat.
Let's try the next prompt. If I blank be in charge of the project, I blank allocate more resources to research. Ask yourself, is this highly probable or is this an improbable, purely hypothetical situation? Recall the rule we just talked about. Taking a few seconds? Got it?
And the answer is were and would allocate. This is a second conditional. Now, what's really interesting here is how this brings us right back to our concept of distance. We use were instead of was for all subjects in formal second conditionals specifically to emphasize that this is purely hypothetical. You aren't in charge, so you're creating a grammatical distance from reality. Pretty cool, right?
Moving straight into Section 3, Round 2, Multiple Choice. Maintain that focus.
So, the format is changing up a bit, but the underlying logic remains exactly the same. Let's look at this one. If the conference blank on time tomorrow, we will have enough time for networking. Your options are A, starts, B, started, C, would start, or D, starting. Here's a massive hint for you. Look at the main clause for your clues. I'll give you a moment to choose.
Yep, the correct answer is A, starts. The presence of will have in that main clause absolutely guarantees that this is a first conditional scenario. It's a real, possible future event. If the conference starts on time tomorrow, great job.
Let's tackle the next one. If I blank you, I would reconsider that decision. Options are A, am, B, was, C, were, D, will be. Now this brings us all the way back to the hook from the very beginning of our explainer. Let's see if you remembered.
Lock it in. Absolutely. The answer is C, were. This is a classic second conditional. Huge kudos to those of you who remembered that special formal rule. If I were you. It's entirely hypothetical because, well, I obviously cannot be you, which creates that grammatical distance from reality we've been talking about.
All right, Section 4, Round 3, Spot the Error. Watch out for traps here.
You see, as C1 learners, your job isn't just to build sentences, it's to edit them on the fly. You have to watch out for these common grammatical traps. Take a look at this first sentence on the left. If water will freeze, it turns into ice. No way, right? The error here is using will inside the if clause of a zero conditional. We literally never put the future modal right next to the if in these basic conditionals. This brings us to the correct version on the right. If water freezes, it turns into ice. Present simple, present simple. Now here's another classic mistake. If he would be more patient, he would achieve better results. Do you spot it? It's the dreaded double would. English learners frequently overcompensate by putting would in both clauses. To fix this, we need the past simple in the if clause, giving us the correct version. If he were more patient, he would achieve better results. Boom. Fixed.
Section 5. Let's turn up the energy for rapid-fire identify types.
Okay, I'm going to read these out fast, and I want you to instantly mentally categorize them. Ready? First up, if the data is inaccurate, the conclusions become unreliable. That is a zero conditional, marked by is and become, both present simple. Second, if they secure enough investors, they will expand internationally. That's a first conditional, easily marked by the present simple secure, and the future will expand. Third, if I had a private jet, I would travel constantly. That is a second conditional, identified by the past simple had and would travel. Beautiful structural markers, every single time.
And finally, Section 6, the ultimate conditional challenge.
So, what does this all mean? Well, this table brings everything into one incredibly clear picture. The zero conditional pairs present simple with present simple. The first conditional pairs present simple with will plus a base verb. The second conditional pairs past simple with would plus a base verb. It is a highly logical, completely structured system. Take a mental snapshot of this.
Which brings us to our conclusion for today. I want you to consider this question. If you were the CEO of your own learning, what would you do next? Notice that beautiful second conditional structure in action right there? Your final challenge is exactly that. To truly master this, you have to apply it to your own life. Write out 3 examples of your own right now. 1 0, 1 first, and 1 second conditional. You have the formulas, you've conquered the gauntlet, now go out there and make these structures your own. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer, and keep building those language reflexes.